Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode on The Conversation. Thank you for watching our videos over the past weeks. Thank you for sharing your comments with us. Thank you for liking. Thank you for supporting us over the number of months. Today on The Conversation, we're going to discuss something very interesting, something that we believe is going to impact you watching out there, the young child, the adults, everyone you watching out there. We believe is going to impact you. And with me in the studio, I'm sure you saw her in our first episode for this month, and she's back again. She's back again for us to have this episode. We have our regular guest now, our regular guest, Selena. Hi, Selena.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So today, this is what we want to talk about. Does my experience determine how far I can go in life? When we talk about experience, we're talking about to someone who has had some failures, two or three, four times failures, failure in marriage, failure in business, failure in career, various types of failures. Someone who is experiencing a loss of life, loss of property, loss of a loved one, loss of a husband, loss of a wife. These experiences, does it determine or is it a sign that you can't go very far in life?
Mm.
What are your thoughts on this?
So I would say that it's not a sign that you can go far. I don't think anything limits us. We limit ourselves sometimes, maybe society a little bit, but I don't think your experiences should limit you. Your experiences do affect you though, I would say. There's this popular saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Yeah.
Right. And it's true. Your experiences shape you. It doesn't mean that you can't go forward, you can't achieve something just because you've lost someone. It doesn't mean you can't attain a goal just because of some extenuating circumstances. It just means that you start to become aware of
Mm,
some limitations, or you start to become aware of some realities, and it just makes you um change some things that you may probably have not changed, like during that period. So I would say that your experience shapes you, but it doesn't limit you. Yeah.
fantastic. And I like what you said about your experience doesn't limit you. Most times, the reason why I said in my initial question that is it a sign? Most times people feel like
Mm.
we're having a conversation in the office, and one lady was like, if the day of my marriage, when we are going to marry, if she has a disagreement with her husband,
Mm.
that can be a sign that that is not the man you're supposed to marry. So you have to, she will start thinking that, why are we going to marry? And that day we had a disagreement, that because that would probably be a sign. So
Yeah,
there are people who feel like the challenges I go through is
that's
just God's
science.
way,
Mm.
or the experience I go through is just God's way of telling me that, you
Mm.
know what, this is not for you. Probably look at a different direction, or probably, Charlie, what you want to attain. So probably let's take it from this point. For someone starting a business, he's tried doing that business, he fails, goes for some capital, he fails a couple of times, and he sees that that is a sign. I guess my question is
Mm.
that, well, it's a conversation. So I guess what I want us to talk about is that, how do we draw the line? Because sometimes
Mm.
what you go through can be God redirecting you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is not. It is just, I mean, in our this part of the world where we believe in witches, sometimes it can be it can be a fearful
Yeah.
trying to stop you. So you have
Yeah.
to persevere. Where do we draw the line where we see that, okay, this is God telling me this is a redirection,
Mm.
and this is a stepping stone?
Okay. So I agree with you that God talks to us in many ways. So our experiences are definitely ways he speaks to us. Um I agree with that. But like you said, it's not every single experience that you have to take as a sign.
Yeah.
Um Sometimes it's just life. sometimes it's fearful. Sometimes it's just you as well. You can become an impediment to your success. There are so many different things that need to be done. But one of the things I will always say is pray.
Mm,
Like, find out from God, explore, try to see what God is trying to tell you.
yeah.
Because maybe if, for instance, that experience is a sign from God, how do you know? How can you confirm?
Yeah.
The only way you can confirm is to ask God,
Mm,
and maybe read your Bible, do some research about it, and then check in with God. It's like you can't do anything without God, right?
yeah.
So everything will always circle back to God. And we make assumptions as human beings. I'm guilty of it.
Mm,
Like your colleague
yeah.
was saying, that's like the fight on the wedding day. Honestly, like if I tell you that, meanwhile my mind will not go there, I'll be a liar. My mind will will probably travel a little.
Yeah.
Like, why are we fighting today? Is this God saying that I've been giving you flags? I've been holding up signs the whole time.
You're not
You
seeing
are
it.
not seeing that thing. So today, dear, like you have to see it.
Yeah.
Like there are times God does that,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that at that point that's what's happening. But for me, my mind, I overthink things. My friend, my friend always tells me I I make assumptions on people's behalf, and I don't bother to check in with them to see if it's actually true. So
Okay.
I'm guilty of that. And if that's your personality, it's understandable. It doesn't mean that you should always like wallow in that that's pool. It's a cesspool of you feeling like your experience is something that will limit you. You don't have to stay there.
Mm,
You can think it, but then always take it to God and then confirm with God if this is actually what is happening. This is what you should do. Ask for guidance, and He always guides you. In the end, your experience will probably even fade away into nothing, and then you move into a higher or a different dispensation
fantastic.
from like where you were previously.
That's great. And just to add to it, one thing about the experience is that you see,
Mm.
whatever happens to you is two things. I always say that the difference between a stepping stone
Mm-hmm.
and a stumbling block is the one facing it. Because one
Bus.
one person encounters a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
One sees it that this thing I will never come out of this.
Mm.
Another person sees it that this thing, Charlie, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
This thing I can come out of. This is an opportunity for me to do great. So
Mm.
it's always the person facing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, one thing challenges come to do, or one thing experiences come to do is that naturally it comes to create a sort of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the enemy always wants something to stand on to make whatever he wants to do come to pass.
Mm-hmm.
So when an experience, because I always say this, that where the enemy wants you to make mistake, but where you make the mistake, that is where God begins with you.
Yeah.
So for somebody watching, probably you got yourself pregnant. I mean, whether you were experimenting, whether
You
it
got
was your fault.
yourself pregnant.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You got.
You got pregnant. You got pregnant, right? And you are not prepared. Whoever you got pregnant with says, I'm not taking responsibility. The person
Mm,
is gone. And you are probably wondering, how do you come out of this? Would this
mm,
be the end of my life? For someone like this, what I would say is that, see, I've seen so many women who even had two kids
mm,
with no fathers, and actually turn
mm.
their lives. Single mother of two. I mean, one is even a challenge. How much more two?
Imagine.
And I've seen them turn their life around. I've seen them. So it's really you. And I've seen them actually turn around without a man, without, going to have
Mm-hmm.
another man say, Charlie, help me, give me money, and all of that. So your experience, yes, initially it will come to limit you, but
Mm-hmm.
you will determine what limits you.
Mm. That's it's very apt what you are saying, that you determine
Mm,
how your experience limits you. Because um I also really like your analogy that you used, that it like perspective is very important.
mm,
Because as we are sitting here, if maybe there was, like you were saying, there was a block,
Yeah.
we are seeing it as like maybe a wall.
Yeah.
But then maybe someone else is coming from the other side, and then they are just seeing it as, oh, like it's like a paper.
Yeah.
So it can be pushed down.
Yeah.
And so the person is wondering, why aren't they pushing it down to move on?
Yeah.
But then we are like, hey, this is the wall, we cannot go.
We
So it depends on
cannot.
how you attack it.
Mm.
And like you were saying, like a single mom, I'm a product of a single mom. I proudly say it. Yes. And it wasn't one child, it wasn't two children, it was more than that. Like my mom took care of everyone's child. Like even people who had both parents lived with us, like our siblings, our cousins, and everyone has lived with us at a certain point.
Oh.
And um I would say that it's grace,
Mm.
and then it's also perseverance.
Mm.
My mom always says this, that she knew the situation and she didn't want the situation to define her.
Mm.
So she
Love that.
she wasn't thinking too much about it. She just knows that we have to survive. We
Yeah.
have to come out of it.
Yeah.
No matter what, like there are people depending on her. So of course she'll pray. But then when she's done, she works towards it. So
Mm.
that brings me to my point that I said we should pray. You should be on your knees and everything. But you don't pray and then just sit down and then wrap your hands and then it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
I end up doing that sometimes because I'm used to someone fighting my battles for me, which is my mom. My mom is like a very strong.
Yeah.
My moms, actually, I have two moms, and they are very strong people who like always face a problem head on.
Yeah.
So I feel like I also got used to being in the background and then
Yeah.
receiving. So sometimes I do that as well. So if you're like that, please, I'm not bashing you. I relate to you.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that when you pray, work towards it.
Yeah.
Let's God meet God somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, God is there. He's always available. He's a provider. He's someone who is like ready to do it for you.
Yeah.
But then are you ready to also help yourself?
Yeah.
Right. So I would say, like she always told me that don't wallow, don't stick inside your experience, acknowledge it.
Mm.
You can't. And I want to make this point.
Yeah.
Christians sometimes do this optimistic thing where we are like, oh, I'm blessed, I'm by grace, I'm doing this. So like for instance, even when I'm broke, you don't want to say I'm broke.
I'm blessed.
I'm blessed, yeah. And
Right.
so you are probably not acknowledging the situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, we believe we should have faith.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But then we also sometimes need to see the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
That, oh, okay, I am actually broke. But then, God, I'm coming to you in my brokenness
Right.
and in my brokenness.
Yeah.
Please, there's a difference between broken and broke. And I'm coming to you in that place. And then I am leaving that on you because
Yeah.
you said I should cast my burdens onto you. And then from there, that is when I believe that you can now speak out of faith and say that, oh, I'm blessed.
Yes.
But you acknowledged that, like in the past, like this was where I was.
Yeah.
And now I'm in another place. I'm saying this because this way, once you're able to move out of that experience,
Yeah.
you can be able to come back and then realize that, oh, note that this was where God made that change.
Yeah.
And it helps you to be more grateful to God,
Yeah.
more to bring out your testimony. I'll give examples. We came from a place of like we didn't have.
Mhm.
I'm saying my mom was a single parent. My other mom was available, helping. She was supporting. But like there's no money coming from anywhere.
Yeah.
There's no father on the scene. We are many. Many we are. But few we had. So we were many.
Right.
And we really struggled. But we were able to come forward. And today, when I'm speaking, I'm able to speak to someone who was like, who is in that experience, and then
Yeah.
share where I came from, because I understood what I was going through. Even as a child, I understood it, that this was where we were. This was our reality. And through prayer and then through intercession, through everything, through hard work as well, we've been able to get here.
Yeah.
So now I can look back and then see where I came from and then see where God has brought me. And I can give my testimony in that stead that God has done like
Amazing.
a lot of work for me.
This is this is enough testimony. We can close the shoot with this testimony.
Yeah.
Because this is a single mother of
Many.
We have many.
Yes.
But yet, I mean, all of you have come out so beautiful.
We have. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I start to talk, we no go finish.
We don't go finish. But that is just to say that anyone watching this, that easy, the limit is you. Nothing can limit you, not your experience. Like nothing. You place a limit. I remember when you were talking, I remember a story of one lady who came to our church, and when she came, at the point that she came, she was working as a waitress in a pub, not even a restaurant, a pub. And she had come from the village to work in Accra. And I had a conversation with her. What are your plans? What do you intend to do? Her plans, oh, I go work small, get money, send it to the village. And I'm like, how about school? What's your educational level? I just completed SHS. I'm like, okay, do you wish to continue? Oh, school there, that be, oh, you know, school there. And I'm like, who says that? No. Say, okay, yeah, then the word of God came, we kept speaking the word of God anytime she comes to church. It's possible, you see. And one thing my church we do most is that we believe everybody has a purpose. Everyone, no matter who you are, God has a plan for you.
Yeah.
So you might come with, you know, as a nobody, but we will let you know that God has plans for you. Today, the story is different. The lady picked forms, not we picked forms for her. She, on her own accord, went to pick forms for teacher training college. Now, she's almost done with training college. And she wants to, in fact, she even told me that in her family, her mom was even giving her pressure. In her family, you just have to give birth. You don't need a man. Just get someone to impregnate. So at a point, you're like, Charlie, the pressure is coming. I just want somebody to just, there's a guy who is giving, I just want the person to pregnate me. Let me just give birth. Because that is the norm. That is what I'm known for. That is what my family is known for. So let me just, I'm like, no, that is not God's plan for you. Today, she's in training college. She's almost done with training college. She will be a professional teacher. This was somebody who never thought that this was even part. So you see, the limit is you. You are the limit. Nothing in and you see, one thing I've also realized that you see, sometimes it's not just our experience, but sometimes too is the environment.
Yeah.
There are places if you are staying, it makes sense why sometimes God in the scriptures will tell maybe Abraham, leave where you are, go here. This one, leave where you go here. Because it looks as though your environment has a way of limiting you. And even your friends. I used to tell people, and I was telling somebody when we started this podcast that if I had a number of friends, but I know who I tell what to. There are certain friends of mine who are even watching, you know yourselves, that if I told that I was going to start this podcast, I wouldn't have started.
Oh.
They are very good friends, so but they have told me, and a podcast, and I won't name, and I see how the shame, and I will the shame, I would have never started. So I was intentional. When I want to start an initiative, there are people I intentionally talk to. Because you see, like you're saying, yes, faith is not you like saying said there are no challenges. Faith is I acknowledge a challenge, but I also believe with God it's possible.
It's possible. Yeah.
So I speak to people who, yes, they acknowledge that yes, it's difficult, but you can do it.
You do it. Yeah.
And we are here. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
You know, but if I told certain people to go there, there is no way. And I really don't like people around me that tell me it's not possible. Because I know that the only reason why what I want won't come to pass is because I decide I don't want it. Because you see, before you come in, there's a story in the Bible, the Tower of Babel. Now, I did a little bit research. Now, these people say that they want to build a tower that would go up to God and go and see God. Now, they had the wrong motivation, but they had a vision that we want to build a tower to go and meet God. Now, what strikes me was when God himself says that, you know what, these people, even though the agenda is wrong, if we don't come and confuse these people, these people they will achieve what they are doing. And I did a research. Do you know that many believe that. Do you know that they built the temple within 30 to 50 years?
Mm-hmm.
Many believe it's 30 years, many believe 50 years.
Mm.
So for 30, let's even take the 30. For 30 years, these people kept pursuing a vision
Setting goal.
that seems very impossible to achieve. If one of them was alive, I'll ask them what was their motivation. For 30 years, every day they were coming to work,
Mm.
building this tower every single day with the mindset that it is possible, that God had to come and confuse them. So it means that if God didn't do that, it would
It would
have
have
they would
happened.
have
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
achieved
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the limit is you. I know you want to say something to
The Tower of Babel is very fascinating. Like, it's very fascinating to me because
Yeah.
there was this sermon our reverend did on that, and it was about the prayer in agreement and
Yeah.
all that. And like you were saying, it's about the mindset,
Yeah.
and it's also about the fact that they agreed
They
to one
agreed.
goal.
Exactly.
They all had one mindset, and it
Yeah.
wasn't like today Kojo wants this.
Yeah.
Akesi said, "Oh no, like I want something else."
Yeah.
And if that happened, and that was in the end what God brought,
Yeah.
different
Confusion.
languages.
Yeah.
So they had to separate.
Yeah.
And I remember the Reverend really was like he spoke so much about agreement that like the way he said it,
Mm.
it really stood out to me
Yeah.
that you have to have like a certain idea, like a certain goal,
Mhm.
right? And if you have it and you decide, you agree that that is the goal, that is the vision, that like you, that's where you are going. Even if rock will fall, a boulder will fall on
Yeah.
you, even if a car will come and start, you will pass over it and get there.
Yeah.
Nothing will limit you.
Yeah.
Unless God Himself brings the confusion.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
really liked that
Yeah.
that point. I
Yeah.
think it's very important.
Yeah.
But then I also wanted to say something briefly about those of us who are a little cautious, because it chilled me small when you said when you said it. I understand that society has made us a little aware of our limitations. So
Yeah.
sometimes when there's an opportunity for us to do something, we may probably feel like we can't do it.
Yeah.
And then we may end up discouraging people
Yeah.
from achieving their goals. So you are a doer, a
Yeah.
go-getter,
Yeah.
but then someone else is more cautious,
Yeah.
more let me look at it in different directions.
Yeah.
That person not may probably take a little more time to achieve something,
Yeah.
but then they may also in the end
Yeah.
achieve it. It depends again on the perspective, or it depends on the way they
They see
come
things. Yeah.
at things. But then such people are still important in the society. We were talking about conflict resolution in groups and all those, or even like different people in a team,
Yeah.
right? So as a leader, you should be able to know how you work with different
Yeah.
people in a
Yeah.
team. So there are going to be people who will agree with you. Those are your yes men.
Yeah.
But then there are going to be people who will see the flaws in your, like when I was leading a certain team at work, right? I felt like there was this group of people who were always in opposition. Hey, if today, let me say I'm even sharing money, those people will say money is a bad thing. Like we all know we like money.
Yeah.
We all know
Yeah.
money is the
Yeah.
root of all
Yeah.
evil. But these people will stand on that thing and say that because of that I'm evil.
Yeah.
So I always felt like these people were always against me. Then there were the people who were always like, oh, like Selena is good. She's this, that,
Yeah.
and always behind me. And then there were people who were just on the fence all the time. So I'll not talk about the people on the fence right now,
Yeah.
but I'll talk about the people who I saw as my ops.
Decision. Yeah.
Yes. When I was younger, I always felt like I don't want these people in my team. I feel like these people are going to be my impediment. They will impede me
Yeah.
from growing. Like they will prevent me from going somewhere else. And then we had a seminar, and also I learned about change management and a few other things as a leader. And I realized that these people are very important in your life
Yeah.
because they help you see the reality. Like they help you see the realistic
Yeah.
side of things.
Yeah.
But you don't listen to them too much and let them limit you.
Yeah.
So again, that is why your experience is important, because
Yeah.
your experience gives you, it brings you down. Like you are flying in the clouds. You are, this girl is on fire. Your feet are not on the ground.
Yeah.
But your experience has to knock you down a little bit, or else you become too pompous. Like your is it elbow? Your shoulder.
Your shoulder. Yeah.
Your shoulder will be up here.
Yeah.
But then it has to bring you down, chip you down a little bit, so that you don't get too arrogant. You don't believe too much in yourself. That's what
Yeah.
happened with the Tower of Babel. They agreed so much that it became like they began to believe too much in themselves.
Yeah.
So God said, "Hey, Charlie, me now I created you. So I have to remind you guys
Yeah. Yeah.
that I did it." So that's why he said, "Let us
Yeah.
go and then
Yeah.
create some kind of chaos, kakra,
Yeah.
light one for them." And then, so I think your experience definitely needs to knock you down a little bit. These friends also need to like make you see the reality of situations, but then you also have to be very careful with the things you listen to. Otherwise you listen too much and then you never
Exactly.
achieve anything. So balance is important.
Yeah. And also on the environment,
Mm.
you need to be very choosy on the kind of environment.
Yeah.
You need to be intentional
Yeah.
about the kind of environment. Like, don't just allow any negative energy. Because you see, there is one man of God made this statement. He said, "You are not better than the." You said you are what? You are not better than the books you read, the people you listen to, and the sermons that you listen to. The level that you can go to is determined by these three things: the people that I talk to, the people that I listen to, the books that I read. These people have a way, these things have a way to determine how far you go. So you see, if you know where you are going to, I know where I'm going to, I know where I'm going in life. I know the path that I've created for myself. I know where I want to get to. You see, I need to create an environment with people that have already been where I'm going to, or also going to the same path that I'm going to. Because the confusion is where, there's something I want to achieve, but like you're saying, there are other people who don't see the big deal with all these things. You understand? They're like the lady I was telling you about came to my church. I mean, there were the environment. Well, one thing I realized that the environment, how everybody was saying, Charlie, just give birth, just give birth, just give birth, just give birth. Just na shoba. Because Sisia no uni will be what was the one thing he said. So Sisia want to be do sika. Like
meanwhile, the Sika Sam is not there. It's not even existing. The Sika is not existing.
no. So I think we should pay attention to your environment. Don't let anything to my last words would be, don't let anything limit you. You are the limit.
Yeah.
Nothing can limit you aside you. If you agree, like Selena was saying, once you agree, you have a goal, you agree that I can achieve this goal, irrespective of the challenge, irrespective, whatever challenge, whatever being you have failed in your you are not the first to fail in your business. You are not the first. We did I did a video on we put on our pages on after the flood, where wishing everyone standing with everyone out there. Then a lady came to comment on our post. She says that she lost everything, not in this flood, but the flood before. She lost everything.
Oh yeah.
You saw that post. She lost everything. She was attacked after that by armed robbers. So like she was there and came back to ground zero. And at that point, she was wondering how she was going to do everything. But today, few years after, she can testify. She's telling that she can testify that God has restored her. So you see, God restores.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the mistake. Yes, you've done mistake. Like you were saying in our other episode. Yes, you've done mistake. Pray, ask God for forgiveness. Men write people off. God doesn't write people off. God never writes people off. we are men. You do something, Charlie, me and you, we are not friends again. Like we are seeing on social media today, friends are fighting and releasing secrets. That is men. But God, you will not have. I mean, He loves us. Even in our iniquity, He
Yeah.
loves us. Even so, you see, God restores. No matter the mistake, whether you got pregnant, whether I'm emphasizing on the pregnancy, yeah,
For some
whether
reason.
whether whether you lost a loved one, yes, whether you lost a loved one, you know, your husband is dead, your wife is dead, you've lost your children, you've
Mm,
lost your job, whatever it is that you've lost, we might not feel what you feel, yes, but one thing is for sure, that God really restores. And once you connect to God, and you see the experience, the enemy wants to use that experience for you to disconnect.
exactly.
But the
Exactly.
disconnection is where don't disconnect.
Yeah.
Stay with God, and it will make sense eventually.
Yeah.
Will,
Stay connected.
yeah.
But let me ask you why? Why are we talking about pregnancy like that?
Because you see, probably because of stories I've
You've
read,
heard. Okay, okay,
where
okay.
people feel like, okay, I've done a mistake. I'm pregnant. What is this the end of my life? I
Mm,
mean, I heard a story of one lady. I think it was on social media. I hope I'm not back because of this, but the lady that's adult content, right? Not
mm-hmm.
to judge or anything. And she got into those adult content because, well, she got pregnant, but that was experimental from her explanation. She wanted to see what all the sex thing is about, and she got pregnant. But that wasn't the end of it. After that, she stayed with a family who abused her sexually. So if I've been abused sexually from her, from how she
Mm-hmm.
was saying, if I've been abused sexually and all of that,
Then you
what
take
is there
power back.
again?
Yeah.
Whatever integrity or whatever I was keeping is gone. So I mean, then
Yeah.
Efimwa, and she started adult content. But that's why I'm emphasizing on that. It doesn't matter the experience you go through.
Mm-hmm.
You were raped. It's very painful that you're a young woman.
Definitely.
You are trying to keep. Even guys bring money to you, and you still don't accept it. And then you have some crazy person who just sleeps you, especially in this part of our world where even when you say it, nobody will believe you. Say, "Ataibe now share
Mm. Okay. Oh,
and all of that." So
yeah.
for anyone in that situation, it's not the end.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
end.
The dynamics of like women and um sexual abuse and like taking power back and everything is not, maybe we should, it's a whole
Yeah,
conversation
yeah,
altogether, and I think we can maybe talk about it some
yeah. Have
other
a
time.
conversation on that. Yeah,
Yeah. um but like you were saying, that's why I said that your experience doesn't limit you but it shapes you,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like this person has been through this kind of abuse, and now because she wants to take power back from the like she feels as if a certain kind of power was taken from her,
yeah,
she needs to reclaim it. She goes into producing adult content,
yeah,
and saying this with no judgment. um Maybe it wasn't the area she would have gone
yeah,
into, but then that experience has shaped her. The person who was first class student and everything, and then is now sitting at home without a job.
yeah,
That experience also has most likely shaped them,
yeah,
because now maybe when they go and then go and do another degree, they won't even care in too much about getting first
yeah,
class,
yeah,
as long as they are getting that degree.
yeah,
Yeah. So positively, your experience can shape you
yeah,
in the same way your negative experience can also shape you.
yeah,
So it's again a way for you to find your balance. And I like what you said about staying connected.
mm,
The enemy also sows seeds of chaos. We talked about God sowing a seed of chaos, and
yeah,
this is not something that he does frequently, but then again, that this was a very special
yeah,
circumstance
yeah,
where like human beings were beginning to rely too much on themselves, and he needed to remind us who we were, right? But this enemy guy, he there like it's like he just That's for no reason, keke.
Yeah.
Like no
Yeah.
purpose,
Yeah.
no formula. Like
Yeah.
wherever you are going, you just have to throw something light for you to fill it.
Yeah.
And you have to remain connected because his plan is to prevent you from achieving your goal,
Yeah.
prevent you from staying in God.
Yeah.
And you can fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the number of times I've backslidden. Hey, this enemy they can get me. Like, to be very honest, like
Yeah,
I'll even
yeah,
lie. Like
yeah.
I've fallen so many times due to my own
Yeah.
things. Like I have things I struggle with.
Yeah.
But then the enemy is also very strong. And you need to also acknowledge that we always say that, oh, we can overcome. But you need to know that the enemy is also strong. So you have to deji and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
fight. I mean, like be on guard.
Yeah,
And then fight against this enemy as well. So remain connected to the body of Christ.
yeah.
Sometimes again this a loss of a loved one, some kind of experience in the church. See, the church is also very flawed. Okay, that's why God said when he comes back a
Yeah.
second time, he's going to start
With
at
the
home.
church.
Yes, he's starting with us because we are sometimes we are not very good people. We are human beings.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it happens that like your humanness can show forth in the church. And there have been so many people who've been very discouraged by the church
Yeah.
because of one thing or the other. And because of that, they leave the church.
Yeah.
And I would say that don't let this disconnect you from God. Don't let this prevent you from remaining in the body. The body is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes, the body has its challenges. Yes, the body is going through things, but the body is there for a particular reason. If you are leaving that particular church, it doesn't mean that you cannot go to other churches. There are so many Bible believing churches that you can go to.
Yeah.
We've had to leave a church before. My entire family and I, we left. But then in the end, if you are not careful, if you leave a church and you never go back, like you never go back to God, because for instance, from me, I was born into that church.
Yeah.
That's all I'd ever known. And I realized that once we left the church, even waking up to go to church on Sunday was difficult because at that point the enemy had used that thing that we had done. I'm not saying we were wrong to leave the church. It was called for. There are situations where sometimes you have to leave, you have to flee temptation. God said it, that we have to flee. So if you are realizing that situation is bad for you, you have to run away.
Yeah.
So we had to at that time. And the enemy uses that fleeing that we have, like he used that fleeing that we were fleeing to keep us disconnected.
Wow.
Yes. And so my mom was like, when we are going to church, you don't want to go to church. Every day, it's silly, let's go to church. And I'm like, oh, no, next week. Every day next week. So she had to stand her ground and then push for me to go to church. I think we went to, the first time I went to that new church was my sister got married and then we went for a Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then because it was Thanksgiving and I couldn't say I will not go, we were all there. And that was how come I went to the church. Now I wasn't going anymore. I did my national service. And the funny thing is, the day we did the Thanksgiving, this person knows himself, said, the day we did the Thanksgiving, this guy sang and he sang so beautifully. And I entered GCB, Okaishi branch. I opened the door. This guy was the first person I saw when I got there. So I was like, I know you. And he didn't even know me because obviously he wouldn't know me. So I explained it to him. We became friends. Like we are tight now, I can say. We are very close. And he really pushed for me to come to church.
Right.
I sing. I didn't want to sing anymore. He was always, come for rehearsal. We need singers. We need this. We need that. And he would push. He would make sure I would come to church. And in the end, I won't attribute my Christianity to only him, of course not. But if I'm talking about like my success story, his name
Will be
features
part of,
because
yeah,
he really pushed for me
yeah,
to continue to be with the body of Christ. And my mom, of course, she was always encouraging him
yeah.
to keep pushing me there. So yeah, don't remain disconnected
Stay
and
connected.
be intentional. What you were saying about being intentional as
Yeah,
well is also very important, because if I had not let this guy convince me to come to church, if I had stayed away from him, if I wasn't intentional about keeping my relationship with him, because I'm not saying that our relationship doesn't have flaws. Like there have been moments where we've been frustrated with each other,
mm,
but we always make sure that like even or we will not even talk. Like there will be months we will not really hear from each other, but after a while we'll hear from each other again and then we'll talk. My friends are like that as well. We'll go, life happens and then we just come back and then
yeah.
we talk. Intentionality about who you are surrounding yourself with. That's why they say, show me your friend and I'll show you
I'll
my
show
true
who
color,
you are.
your
Yeah.
true color and everything. So yeah, like you need to also be very careful, be particular about who you're surrounding yourself with. They are the ones who will pick you out of whatever hole you fall into. So yeah, just wanted to add to that
Amazing,
conversation.
amazing. That is good. That is good. Stay connected. This has been a very good conversation. Thank you,
Mm,
Selena.
thank you.
Always, 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 always. Thank you so much. The last words. Your mistakes doesn't mean that is the end of your
Hmm.
life. Whatever mistake you've done in the past, it's not the end.
It doesn't define you.
It doesn't define you. It doesn't define you. It doesn't define you. God has a good plan for you. He says in Jeremiah that I know the plans that I have for you. They are plans
It's
of good,
good.
not plans of evil.
Yeah.
They are plans to bring you to an expected end. And that scripture is not for, in quote, only righteous people. It's for everyone. Every single person, even you, the one watching, it's for you. So stay connected to God. Don't let anything limit you. My name is Enoch, and this is The Conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.